Oh, it's another Saturday program, the Young Women and Wives with Burdens and Blessings discussion platform. How are you? And I know you want to ask me how I am. Well, I'm doing good. I know we're all doing amazingly well. And this month of May is strictly for our young minds, our young, preteen and teenagers, and also young adults. We really want to go into their world to understand what is going on, and for them to, we want to understand them, we want them to understand, we want them to share with us, and we want also to learn from them. My name is Rosemary Henry Eze, and I happen to be the coordinator of the initiative. Now, you want to know what young women and wives with burdens and blessings discussion platform is all about. Well, it is an initiative geared towards the wholeness of the woman. That is our slogan. Once you hear Y.W.W.B initiative, we say the wholeness of the woman. And why are we particular about the wholeness of the woman? We are particular about the wholeness of the woman because a whole and healed woman is a healthy person. You understand what I'm saying? So fortunately for us, our speaker is here. Olamipo, you hold on. I'm going to bring you on camera. I can see you, so I'm going to bring you on. Just give me some minutes to, do some form of introduction and clarification. So Olamipo Amusa is going to be our speaker today. And today we're actually speaking on the top. She will be, rather, speaking on the topic beyond expectation. You understand? When you're beyond what the pressure that our young minds go through. Sometimes it's not so easy to understand them. Let me just put that way. Last week when we had Ella Eledu, it was a very therapeutic and clarity laden session. When we had Ella Eledu, we looked at the fact that with Ella, we looked at comparison, the impact and effect of comparison in when it comes to the lives of our young ones. Okay, and I'll be bringing on our speaker now. So the entire May community interactive session will have every Saturday for the 4 Saturdays. The fifth one will be, our community interactive session. So the 4 Saturdays we have our young minds with us, talking about topics that are, that has to do with their world. Because we as an initiative, we're an initiative that caters to, the wholeness of the woman from the age of 12 up to 65. So we believe that, those stages of life, of her life, is very, very important. And someone once asked, "Oh, 65, what are you doing with a 65-year-old?" Well, those are the age or the era of legacy and nurturing. And believe you me, it is very, very important that we have a complete and wholesome woman. Welcome, Molami Posi. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
So how was your week? How's your week been?
My week was pretty busy,
Awesome.
but yeah, it was good.
Okay, so earlier we gave and we had on our page Olamipo's biography, but I would like to, for a long time we have not read our speaker's biography, but I would like to do a summary. Sorry, bless me. I would like to do a summary on Olamipo's biography. Olamiposi is a student of the University of Prince Edward Island here in Canada, where I also reside. However, um, this program is being, broadcasted live on our Facebook page, and we welcome everyone to, join us. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is you're joining us from. This is a global platform. We've had people from all over the world speak, and the most part of the world we've had our speaker Dr. Amuya, who spoke with us from India. Okay, so Olamipo is a student of the University of Prince Edward Island. Olamipo is studying actuarial science, and she has the future plan of helping you and I understand how important insurance is to back home. We dread insurance. We just believe that insurance, most of the insurance companies are just out to do what. But Olamiposi is, promise to help us, understand better. But this night, Olamiposi will not be speaking to us about insurance. She'll be speaking on the topic, who am I without the pressure? Healing healing identity beyond expectation. So Olamiposi, without taking much of our time, let's get to meet Olamiposi. Who is Olamiposi Amusa?
Hi everyone, my name is Olamipo Amusa, and it's such an honor to be on the Young Women's with Wife and Wives Burdens and Initiative. It's a really great platform where women and girls can share their life story. They can share their educational journey and every journey that can be shared in the life of a woman, because we're special, we're dynamic, and we're unique. I'm a fourth year actuarial science major at the University of Prince Edward Island. I am going to be completing my studies soon, so I'm really excited. Actuarial science basically is the study of risk management and insurance. So I am currently doing my internship in Toronto at a risk management firm. Outside studying and schooling, I love playing tennis. I love sport. I love going to the gym. I like doing things. I also love volunteering and doing fun stuff. I also love the countryside, working on the farm, um, working as a carpenter. I do anything that is worth doing well, and I do it good. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell.
Thank you so much. It's we've not. This is the first time we're going to be having, like, young minds below the age of 30 come on the platform. So we want our audience to really get to know you, from you, and not just from the biography, your biography that we have on our page. So Olamiposi, let's look at the topic of tonight. Let's look at the topic of tonight, the weight of expectation. Oh, before we go into that question, I want to ask you, when we talk about pressure, what are we looking at?
Um, Pressure can span out in so many different areas. Like, um, firstly, the pressure to go into university and do this certain major. Like, I want you to be a medical doctor. It's more common among the African and Asian setting, but I think it spans out across the globe. I want you to be a medical doctor, an engineer, or a lawyer. The pressure of, relationship at a certain age, to be in some certain kind of relationship. Where's your ring? That pressure that people bring within the community. It's not just your family. Like, I believe the community also join in to bring in those kind of pressure, and also the pressure of where are you now at your professional journey. Like, you ought to have been done with this XYZ. The rush, like, they don't want, like, pressures, especially on a woman. Oh, they tell you your biological clock, and even if you're way older, they'll be like, oh, you're not supposed to be doing that. There's a certain kind of stereotype that the society and the community has kind of said, oh, this is what it should be for a woman. But a woman can live beyond that. You can be allowed to do what you want to do. You can be allowed to do what is right to do, what you're comfortable in, without the pressure of family, without the pressure of with society, without the pressure of even your community, because one way or the other, the community also put pressure on you that you're not even aware of. Oh, there's this expectation that you want, there's this, oh, why you're not doing this thing, oh, why you're not in a relationship yet. Oh, I'm building my professional journey. Why are you not married yet? Oh, it's really good, but when it comes, it does come, and it's beautiful to plan towards things like this. But that should not be the bone of contention of the life of a woman. So far, they're doing it, and recently I read online when this woman of God passed away, Johnny Lamb, and when men do pass away, they said, "Oh, it's when their wives pass away, they're like, oh yeah, get a wife." But when her husband did pass away, it was just I was reading the whole story, and I was it was weird because I'm like, why should it? Why should this be for a man? Why can't it be for a woman? We're equal before God.
Okay, thank you so much. Olamipo, see, I know that I probably omitted this out, but I just wanted to know that this platform is not a particular, does not actually belong to a particular religion. So, but we are permitted to talk about our faith. So we talk generally from our experience as a people or as a person. So sometimes I for one can get carried away and I go
Yeah.
and start quoting the Bible and all that. There's nothing wrong with that anyway, because your faith is you are nothing without your faith. But we try as much as possible to reach out to women, not minding their faith or their belief. Okay, now expectation. Okay, before we go to expectation. Now, when we say healing, what does healing really look like for you? What does really healing mean? How do you see healing? Now, for a young woman who is within the okay, I want everyone to know that Olamipo is within the age range of 22, you know, and to 26. I hope I did not mix that up. So now, what does healing mean for you as a young lady within that age range?
Personally, healing is
Can you be more? Can
yeah.
you increase the volume? Let me put it. We can't really hear you. Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
thank you. Yeah.
Sorry, it's just for me, healing is more or less like again, I'm going to go back to pressure, like seeing my friends doing something and having maybe my aunties or uncles saying, "Oh, your friend did this, you have not done that." It hurts, and I might not really want to show it to my family member, but it does hurt, like that comparison. So I've tried to heal from that. Um, because they do it without even knowing, and some people are very kind of like intentional about doing it just to kind of bring that kind of pressure, like, can you just let me be, is the kind of thing I want. Don't pass your own experience on me, let me live my healing. Is I want to live my experience. So
Mm,
how I've healed in the past and now, and how I'm going on my journey of healing, is living my own experience, not the experiences of others. This is your own experience. I can learn,
powerful.
but I don't want to take that experience. I want to hear your story, but I don't want that to. I don't
Mm,
push me. And people in this age range, they push experiences on people a lot. Like
mm,
the girls are like, oh, this person's engaged. What are you like? That's your experience. You
mm, mm,
okay, oh, this person is doing this major, why aren't you gonna do it? Like, can you just allow me to be like, there's something I used to say, like my WhatsApp name on there, I wrote fearless. I'm fearless because I'm enjoying my journey. Yes, there's gonna be difficulties, but I enjoy this journey. So I'm healing
mm,
the process of not wanting to compare myself, because comparison is a stealer of joy. So as a woman in this age range, 26, 28, 22, however age you are, do never compare yourself and enjoy your journey. You can also learn from other people's experience, but don't try to live their experience. And it's so funny that even in a house where you have sisters, brothers, and I'm just going to speak on sisters because negative. Many
mm,
people have this opinion of, oh, I need to be. This is your own sister experience. This is what she's doing, so you want to do it. You need to learn to live in your own time, your own experience. This is me. I mean, I'm happy being me. I used to follow this quote, trying to be someone else total waste of everything God has made me to be. So I'm going to enjoy this person that I am. And
Thank you so much, Olamipo. Um, I want to ask, last week we spoke to Ella, and Ella came and she was speaking for age 18 to 21. And we asked her a question that we're going to also throw open to you today. For a woman within the age range that you are now, can you tell us what identity crisis feels like?
yeah, that is first identity crisis in terms of I would go to beauty care and makeup. For for me, I'm not really into the makeup style, but there are times that I feel like maybe I'm at a party or I'm at a gathering and I see my friend, having their makeup all in, and I'm like, gosh, did I really do? Or maybe I just kind of just put some light things. So, again, everything just tends to like comparing, and then I'm just lost. I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know. I can't find myself in that space because I'm not on makeup, because I've not achieved this, because I don't think I'm smart. I don't have the, in terms of education, I don't have like, oh, my GPA is like 3.5, and you'll be hearing people in a conversation saying it's a 4.0, and people have put this, oh, if your GPA is not 4.0, don't kind of talk to me, or they've made it more like if you don't have that GPA, so they're articulating GPA to intelligence, but they're two different things because I can literally sit down and study and pass, but that doesn't mean that I'm super smart in that thing. I just give my time to it. So that's one thing I would say in terms of beauty and makeup is where I find myself personally. I'm like, oh, this girl really doesn't makeup. I'm not really good at makeup thing. So yeah,
Thank
I
you. Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were still talking. So let me do another uh, version, or let me come from another perspective to that. Now, when we spoke with, I'm going to be referencing, just like next week, I may, because our speakers for next week are much younger. So, but let me ask you, what I want us to understand as parents. Speaking of parents, please, our audience, I can see Dr. Roti. How are you, sir? Good to have you tonight. Thank you. And Mr. Afolayan, thank you, sir, for joining. I know Mr. Afolayan is watching because of his baby girl. Okay. And for everyone who is with us, welcome. Thank you. Please drop your questions you have, what you want to know about, um, women of within Olamipo's age. So now, now you told us that it feels like maybe beauty, crisis. One of the things that affects you when you're relating or talking about identity crisis, as a woman, a young woman within the ages of 22 to 26, so thereby is the crisis of beauty of trying to fighting or struggling within yourself if you are enough, if you're beautiful enough, or if you're enough. So yeah, you took us through trying to use makeup. Hmm. So how and you also mentioned how you somehow have been able to find yourself. You've been able to find yourself, but what tell us the how painful and you know how painful and confusing it can be when you as a young man is in trying to find yourself.
um yeah, I would say in terms of like the example I made reference to with makeup. I know there was a stage where I needed to go to grocery shopping. I needed to look good because I needed to be called, or maybe in terms of like dressing. I needed to, the pressure from friends, or I needed to do some of exposure and get this drawn, like this likeness from men. So um, I would say more like I just needed, it was hard to kind of switch. I had those type of thoughts. They do come up, but I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit in my space and kind of enjoy and stay in where I'm comfortable at. not let um spouses have feelings come onto me. So that's basically how I've gone through it. So it's hard. There are times that I cry, but I wouldn't even let people know that I'm crying about this because it hurts me, or maybe, oh, how come everybody and I that are around me, every other girls that are around me are getting something not something. Oh,
Okay, thank you. Now, expectation.
yeah.
I want us to look at expectation from the angle of family because, you know, what I can deduce from what you have been telling us is that obvious that women within this age range are particular about what their peers are seeing or saying about them. So but what about what is happening in the home? Because I don't know, but I feel that I feel that the home, the family you come from, your upbringing is first the place where you feel the pressure. So let's talk about pressure from the fact that you come from a family. So what are the pressures that women within your age range face from family? Now I'm talking about, let's talk about pressure of, from parents.
Um, Pressure from parents, people, women within this age range, because of how the society, because the family makes up is the most important part that makes this up the society. So pressure from parents would be, to be very honest, and this is very practical, would be, oh, who are you like dating, or who are you seeing, like marital pressure. It happens in, especially in an African setting, for a woman within that age, because let's say 25, 26, they're like expecting you to be like with two kids now, stuff like that. I'm like, it shouldn't be that way. That is a regular pressure. I know that age band, 24, 22, by 23, they're expecting you to be in some kind of relationship, like having this kind of introduction, where's your man kind of thing. And it's not just even your immediate family, it's your whole family, like your cousins are involved, your aunties, like everybody's there asking, when is this person, where is her husband or something. It's just the expectation there is really high and can put pressure on you. And as a woman within that age band, you're moved to like, oh, well, anyway, I have to go out and find somebody and just lock things in. I'm like, it's not done that way. So that's where you have to not really explain, but you have to really stand your ground as a woman, that I have things I'm pursuing, I have vision, and these things will come together, because everything that I'm pursuing now is not just to make me, oh, an actuary or something. It's meant to make me a better woman, a better mom, a better wife. They're all contributing factors. But family members are not saying that. They're only saying, oh, you have to tie the knot and boom, that's it. When I tie the knot and I don't have money to feed my kids, like we see a lot of kids out there, like those, it's not just any rushful marriage. Many kids are born into homes that the woman was under pressure and she just had to do it. And there's this kind of like, oh, I know this person, arranged marriage, stuff like that. I'm not saying, yes, there's time for everything, but I know that everything I'm pursuing, they're coming together to make a good woman, a good wife, and a great mom. So I'm not going to leave these things out because they're also important. So as I go in my journey, those things will come along. I'm not closing my eyes on them. My eyes are wide open, and there's something I'm also expecting, right? But not that someone is putting pressure from family and saying, "Oh, come on now, where's your man? Where are the brothers?" They don't even tease anymore. They are really serious about it. You have many people calling you and saying, "Oh, we are waiting for you to do your wedding or something like that." And then you start comparing, and you run into a marriage that you're not even happy at. And then what happens? You get a divorce. Like, it messes with your mental health, your emotional health, and those times kids. And then how you want to train them, like, oh, if I'm a woman, yes, I am a woman, and I'm grown, I'm doing my actual science, I'm studying, I'm working hard, I'm cleaning, I'm doing the things that I need to do. Those things will contribute to how I would behave in a, because it's different. If I just jump into stuff like that, just because of pressure. I mean, some people are married within this age band and they're doing fine, which is beautiful. Everybody finds it at different points. I know people want to talk about biological clock and stuff like that, but regardless of clocks like this, you don't want to. I don't want to be pressured to do something that I'm not. For example, I'm not even prepared for. I'm still learning. I've seen couples in my beautiful couples, and I see how like they relate with each other. So I'm learning from women like that and seeing, and they're godly women, they are women of faith, and I see how they are proud of their kids, how they talk about their children. Rosemary is a good example. I see her, like, she posts about, like, she is an example of a woman who is a friend, regardless of age band. Have a child now, if to
Let me cut you there, Olamipo. Thank you so much for what the perspective you have shared and everything. But I is it safe to say that sometimes parents put pressure when on you when they see that you do not really know what you want. Okay, let me. I don't have a my first child is a boy, but I observe that most times some children don't really know what how to maximize time and how to define or set their purpose. So I'm going to ask you this question and I'm going to ask another question. Now, how to define purpose. So sometimes when you see parents come into your life or your interfere and it seems like pressure, it may be that they have observed that you as their child does not seem to actually have clarity. And I know that there's pressure around marriage and everything. But now I'm not even going there. I'm not asking you question on pressure based on marriage. I'm asking you question on based on you understanding purpose. Now, before you answer this question, let me ask you, how what is the difference between purpose, purpose? What do you understand by purpose? Because you know why I'm asking you this. Most times the pressure that parents, when any child or your person that the parents exert pressure on, they must have studied and found out that this child is, in terms of awareness and understanding purpose, the child is not working in line with what seem like, they know what they are doing, or the child knows what he or she is doing. So if your parent is exerting pressure, how do you think that it is from a place of undue pressure, undue expectation, or from a place of concern? And how do you manage it? How do you, as a woman in that age, how do you manage it? So
to
answer that question and then answer the question of, you know, what you understand by purpose, how you differentiate between purpose and pressure. Thank you.
thank you so much for the question. To me, purpose is about living a life that has meaning, impact. It's about growing into who I'm meant to be and using my experiences to inspire help, or help others. Um, the perspective of, well, the parents, I can only, I would speak generally for myself. Parents are not bringing this pressure just because they are not aware. Sometimes it could be as a result of the past experience they might have with, like, maybe if you have siblings and they're females, like a lot of females, for example. So, your older sister did this, so they're like not trying to make that mistake with you. So this interferes with your own purpose as a person and as an individual. For me, I would say how my parents has brought like pressure on me would be more like in terms of or what they wanted me to study and what I needed to do because they feel that's the only way. Like literally, my mom was like, that's one way you would succeed. Become a doctor.
Mm.
I have an older sister who's a doctor, and that's something. I mean, that's really good that she wanted me to be that, but that was not something I want. I always wanted to become an engineer. I was like, I want to go an astronaut has been my dream. I'm still in the numbers and math space, but that's something I know that she brought on me that I really wanted to learn and do. If I had done biology, I was really good because my teacher in high school was part of like saying, "Oh, you're good in bio, do it." I'm like, that's not what I have interest in. But I had a basic tech and a technical teacher. What I used to draw building, build. I was good at building drawing, better in building than machine. So I was like, okay, this engineering thing I'll do it, but I'm studying natural science. That's another story. But that's the pressure from an older. I'm talking based on personal experience, like oh, this older person is doing this. I want you to do this because you're good with that. And how I lived out of that is I just choose to be comfortable and do what I want. Even what I'm doing now, I'm happy. I chose it because of the name sounded fancy. See, that's for like telling my mom saying, "Oh, I chose actuarial science because it was fancy." She's going to be like, "What are you doing with your life?" That's how I was able to navigate something like that.
Thank you. You know, why I was trying to ask this question is because sometimes there's this adage, this African adage that says that what a young person will not see standing, an
Mm.
elder will see it while sitting.
Yeah.
So, but you have given me an answer that I agree with, and that is the fact that most often it is always based on the experiences that parents have had with older children or with maybe other people's children that they have seen. So this leads to helping you define the choices you make and all that. So because I believe that I felt that sometimes when a child is not a parent, that a child is not clear about who
Yeah.
she is or he is if for a boy, but in this situation, because this is a woman's platform, if you are 22 to 26 and your parents sees that you are not really, you're not towing the path that shows that you have clarity about your future, they will be forced to intervene and the expectation which they have on you might begin to put pressure on you.
Mm.
Okay, thank you so much thus far. I am that this is a more subtle, discussion, and I am seeing another perspective from it. Like I said, I have my first child is a boy, and let me say man, he's 19, he's not going to 19 now, and I remember I've never, I do, I tell people that I've never had the cause to sit and tell my children, oh, I want you to be an engineer. I want you to be follow in my footsteps. I want you to do this. I've never really had that. I've always had discussion where I ask them, oh, what do you want to be? And then my first son, from when he was little, has always said he wanted to be a lawyer. He wanted to be a lawyer. He has always said he wanted to be a lawyer. And even though I didn't find the lawyer, but he had his reasons. And then when uh, presently he's in school studying English, and because he had challenges with admission, and he had to go opt out for English for the time being. Now when say friend asked me, oh, so what course is your child studying in the university? And I said English, and he said, and you paid for that? That was what I had. And you paid for that? What nonsense. And and I said the child knows why they chose it. The child knows where their strength lies in. And we're in a world where it's no longer what you study in the university. That's there's no longer where you study. Because I know a lot of people who studied whatever course, and then came here and they became nurses. They, the world is so advanced that you don't stay in a profession forever.
Yeah.
You have that uniqueness or this into what to divert or into other professions. So if he's going to start off here, why not? He knows why he wants that. And if at the end of the day, he might probably somewhere along the line become whoever I want to be. And the funny thing is that my this same son of mine, he told me, he said, Mom, because he's learning to be, electrical works, and he's an electrical works or electrician apprentice. And he's been doing that for 2 years, going on 3 years now. And he told me, he said, Mommy, oh my goodness, how I wish I went for the sciences. I was afraid of physics. I was afraid of maths and further maths, and I went. But I found it so easy to learn, the electrical work I've learned. And I said, sometimes it's not the same thing. Theory can prove very difficult, and then the practical is easy because you have, especially if you know how you learn. Some of us learn by virtue, by seeing something, whatever it is that we need to know. Okay, thank you so much, Olamipo. So I want to ask you this question: the weight of expectation.
Expectation.
How heavy can it be, or how heavy can the weight of expectation be?
Um, well, it depends from again the family, but generally it can be from ranging between 1 to 10. I would use numbers. I would say nine. Like,
Mm,
oh, what are you doing right now? We want to see it. Show us. Like as the years goes by, you're done with school. Okay, yeah. What do you? So you're done studying. Okay, next thing. But they won't even. There's no place to breathe. Like, oh, maybe do your master. Some people encourage you to do. You have a sibling or your cousin somewhere know, or do you go for your PhD? They kind of like say, "Oh, this one did this. I want you to do this." So
mm,
again, it also comes down to like somebody comparing you to another person, and you're like, you know what, I'm 26. I think I'm more than a full adult. Let me put it
mm,
that way, because everybody claims, oh, adults at 18, right? So can I just be able to do my own thing and work at my own pace and trust that I will make I will make it, right? Not you trying to push your what you've seen in other people, other families. Like it comes to neighbors comparing, oh, look at your neighbors' kids. Oh, it's really from where I come from in Lagos, it's very common. Like your neighbors' kids are abroad, your neighbors' kids are in a private university, you're in a public university. They want you to study hard, do it so hard, or your neighbor's kids, all of them, all the siblings, they love medicine, they're all doctors. What are you doing with, for example, I would use the example Rosemary gave about English. You can study English and still make a lot of money. You can work in the government, but people are not aware of these other opportunities that lies between eating major and eating. So let me be what I want to be. Let me do what I want to do and let me express myself. So the rate of expectation, I'll say is still a nine, and it will be good if parents can kind of like calm down. Let me use that word.
mm,
Chill on their kids and encourage them. Like a kid can walk up to me and be like, "Mom, I want to go to school and study music." In my own family, don't like. Why would you want to come and take music every other thing, and then you look at the life you will not blow fast or something like that. Like you're not
mm,
encouraging, but there are other parents that I'm like, I really want to study music, and people go there and study music. You can play music for kings.
mm,
Like people don't see those perspective, and it's like, what are you doing? I can be a musician, a harpist or a keyboardist, and I can be working. I can be playing at the maybe there's a ceremony singing a national anthem. I rise to combat you. I'm making my money. It takes a lot to invite people who are in music that plays this harp and songs to come and even sing for the president or the governor. Like we see all those ceremonies online. Where do you think they come from? What do you think they studied? They might not have necessarily studied music. It might just be that might have been a talent that they kind of like study that grew with them and they practice as they were young. Like again, we're talking about women, but I like the example you pointed out how your boy is doing the electrician apprentice job and he's liking it, but he said he was scared of physics. If as he's growing and he's wanting to do it, he can go into a college once he's done with his university English degree and do his electrician and get his certificate and be certified and making money in two ways and multiple ways. So this thing is more like a blessing rather than a I want you to do this kind of thing. This is what I want you to go to school to study. So go easy on people between the age of 22 and 26 because that's the age band we're talking about.
Okay, thank you so much. Like I said, this topic is a very solemn, and you yourself being a very soft-spoken person, it's making it very, very conversational, very mommy and child kind of. I love it. Thank you so much. Now, I want to ask, in what ways can um, in what? Okay, sorry. What does? Oh, sorry, please. Okay, how does pressure and expectation affect a woman's sense of worth and identity?
That's a great question. How does pressure and expectation? Um, for example, so I'm gonna pick one age 23 or 24. You're done with university and
Share
um,
share share a personal story.
okay, so I'm done with university. I'm almost done with university now, and the next thing is some. I'm asked to go for my masters. Like I'm encouraged. They're like, oh, you should do it, and I know we're not talking about marriage, but some people are like, oh, you should. We should be seeing somebody on my radar, and I'm like,
Mm.
it's. I feel how do I explain it? I feel like a foam, like a makeup foam what you used to tap your face. I feel like full of too much concealer on my makeup brush and I would one day just break. I'll start breaking because now my mommy wants me to do this, my cousin wants me to do this. Yes, I mean that kind of family where the cousin have a say in your life. Your auntie wants you to do this or stuff like that. So it's for me it's I would take things slow and and sometimes people always see it as a disrespect like oh you're not even respecting me because you're already big now you don't want to do anything. I'm like it's not disrespect, it's I'm trying to make this decision, don't put this pressure on me, go easy on me. If you really do love me, I want you to encourage me in what I'm pursuing that you see that is good and not telling me what to do because you weren't there when I struggled trying to study for a course that was hard and I couldn't maybe I failed the course and then I had to take the course again and pass this course. You weren't there. Those were educational pressure. And the best I would like to come home and pop on the phone and call my family or a friend and say, oh, I did this course today. Not you saying, oh, once you're done, the next thing, do this. Like you tell me the next thing to do with my life when I'm just trying to take a deep breath and take things slow. So that's what I feel the expectation is like
Mm.
it's very and it might not be verbal. That's what people don't know. These things are not verbal. Some things are very like actionable, like the body language will tell you in the family, the way they even respond to your text message like okay what next.
Mm.
It's mostly non-verbal these days.
Mm.
The way I know it, it's non-verbal.
Mm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I want to reference a story that I want. When my first son was in from JS1, I think I've written about it rather on my page. When he was in JS1, JS1 to SS1, my son would during exam he would just go and that's my first son. He might probably be watching. He will during exam. My son will go and submit a empty paper. Yeah. He's not bothered. He's not bothered that he will just go and submit empty paper. So, and what I did was what you call gentle parenting for a long time until I took up, until I became a threat. So that threat, I'm telling you. Well, I wouldn't say threat, but I will say threat. And I started giving him what we call it in Nigeria, marking.
Mm.
So he did that from GS1 to SS1 to SS2,
Mm.
SS2, back home in Nigeria to SS2, first one, second one. So, and I remember when he was going to SS1, I told him, I said, as soon as your younger brother enters secondary school,
Mm.
and also I was going back for, to run a program. Also, I said, I will be carrying 3 this. I told him, I said, if you don't change, and I said, okay, no problem. So I left him SS1, SS2. I'm just trying to give this story to let you know why, you know, pressure from parents can be, can look harsh,
Mm.
but it's more like a saving grace. So first term, sorry, SS2, SS3, brought SS2, sorry, first semester, second term, Jesus, sorry. He brought the same thing. So third time, I, I, with the father, I told him, I said, eh, this boy will cry, but please close your eyes. Don't be moved by his tears.
Mm.
Because he will go to school for the first 2 weeks that, they give them grace to pay school fees. And he will not know that his school fees has not been paid, that his boy is going to repeat SS2. I don't know as well. I said, this boy is repeating SS2. I don't want to know. My husband said, yeah, so he needs to repeat. But it was still the same father that agreed with me that he was going
Mm.
to repeat, that caved in. I said, this boy is crying too much. I said, that is why I told you. I told you this thing that you have to, we'll block our mind. Now, where am I going to? He stayed at home for the entire third term, SS2. And if he was crying, he cried, cried, cried. I was not moved by his tears because I believe that I had given him grace of 4 years, or going 5 years, of secondary school. And, he came on his own to meet me and, Mommy, please. And I told him, I said, my dear, are you still interested in education? Just let me know. Because you cannot be wasting money. Oh. Are you still interested in education? I say, well, fine. But we are going to repeat that SS2. Because for me, you cannot go out of secondary school. This is the secondary school that is major. You are
Mm.
going to repeat. He said, no, he's not repeating. I said, okay, no problem. Pay your school fees if you are not repeating. To cut a long story short, he repeated SS2. And I sat him there. I said, see, if as long as you want to repeat, I will allow you. I will pay for it. But if you don't get what you need to get, you are not leaving this SS2. Now, what I want to say, he came out, his WAEC result was awesome. He did WAEC only once. And my son, then we started again with jam. I told him, I said, as long as you want to do this jam, if you want to do it 100 times, I'll keep paying. But what am I trying to say now? His first semester results came out. And he was so happy he quickly sent me the results. He sent me the results and I started smiling. You know, he had almost 4 points. He had 3.9. I saw 3.9. But that if that child, if that my son is not naturally a self-motivated person. You understand now? I don't do much of those motivation encouragement with my two younger ones. You understand? But I understood that this person, no, is not a self-motivated person. In fact, if my son will want to do an exam, he will still be sleeping. I went to let him, oh God, worried. But that helped a lot. And now he's on his own, so to speak. So sometimes I feel that the pressure, you know, depending on the situation you are in as a person, or parents bring can also have positive, impact. in your
Yes.
life. Okay, we're almost time is fast spent. Now I want to ask you this: what role does self-awareness play in healing identity wounds caused by comparison, rejection, or unrealistic expectation? What
Mm.
role does self-awareness? What, because I'm a very big person on self-awareness. I believe that if a child understands, you know, herself, himself, you understand what I'm saying now?
Yes.
Let me just chip in something. My second son, he'll be 15 on the 14th of May, and that boy has always been has a matured mind. I used to tell him that he's more me in personality, in everything. He's a boy, but he's more. In fact, he's more me in drive, in passion, in this thing. You don't need to motivate Zion. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes.
Because he knows what he wants. But he I say something. I look at his WhatsApp status, and I don't see what I see. You usually will see with boys of his age. You
Mm.
understand what I'm saying now? I'm
Yes.
seeing, you know, post. I'm seeing this thing. He does some of those. He does all those anime. He's very creative. He does all those cartoons. He's a cartoon addict. So it's not that he doesn't like things like that. He does things like that. He creates it. But I see his posts. I'm like, so yes, that something happened the other day, and his elder brother said, "Mommy, do you check Zion's status?" I said,
Mm.
"Why?" He said, "Man, that guy, they encourage me." His elder brother.
Mm.
His elder brother, someone who is about 4 years older than him, was telling me, "Mommy, I share Zion status every time." You understand me now?
Yes.
So, and the brother was like, that guy, they encouraged me. He was saying this in preaching, and he said, I learned from Zion. That's how I actually train my children, that you can learn from anybody, because I showed them that I learned from them. I learned from my children. So he said, Mommy, I go to Zion's status just to learn, to learn. You understand what I'm saying now?
Yes.
But that doesn't mean so now. So answer that question. What role does self-awareness? Because this boy is somebody who really knows himself. The only thing I know is that he's highly competitive. He's a
Mm.
very, so most I try to tell him that, see, if you fail, is that competitive to the extent that if he sits for an exam in the school, you understand what I'm saying now? He would, if somebody scores more than him, even with 1 point, he will collect the scripts and check to see what
What
you wrote, that made you get more than him. But it got to a time I told the exercise, you have to calm down.
I did that.
Failure, if somebody scores more than you, it's not a crime. But this one will tell you that no, that nobody can can collect first position from me.
Yes.
Sometimes I feel uncomfortable with that. I said, no, you have to learn. Yes, you have to learn to be comfortable with failure, because when you go into the world, you may not be the best in everything. You're going to meet people who are also more than you. So how does but he's someone who is very big, who understands himself, who knows himself. So his self-awareness is very huge. So how does self-awareness help you, heal from identity wounds comes by identity and expectation, comparison, rejection, or unrealistic expectation?
Um, Being self-aware, I understand who I am, my values, my strengths, and even my limits. So I'm, I'm more or less likely to be controlled by external expectation as it comes. So that's what self-awareness has brought. I know this is Ola, this is me, this is what I want, this is what I want to do now. So um, I'm not going to allow expect even just expectation can be very good, positive expectation, but they're external and they're not meeting me at that point. For example, the expectation um, my mom is having of me is good, but it's for another version of me that is growing into that space, but she wants it now. So I'm not going to let that control me. Sometimes I do feel overwhelmed. Honestly, it happens, but
Hmm.
I have to. pick up from where I left and say, girl, I have to stand up, I have to continue, I have to move on. Sometimes I'm led to compare, maybe for in my course of career, someone is taking like 5 exams, they're probably gonna end up being my boss, even though we're in the same class. I'm like, what am I doing? So I have that pressure of like, oh, I have to do it. Now I met someone, this is recent, like last week, a co-worker who has done two professional exam and they're not taking anymore. I'm studying for one now. So if I have my two, we're like on the, I'm not trying to compare, but she did it and she's like, I'm taking a rest for I don't know how long I'm gonna rest from that. I'm starting now when they have started since like a long time ago, and I can even have 5 exams, 6 exams, and that could be an encouragement for her to just pick up the exam spree and start writing it. So I learned to choose the comfort that I find in myself. I don't want to compare myself to anybody because I really just want to enjoy. I want to play tennis now, and you want to do your own thing now. That's you. Me, I'm going to enjoy going to playing that tennis because I know, like, oh, she doesn't want to come out or do something with us. So yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. Like I said earlier, I've really enjoyed this conversation because it's more, calm. It's more, mature. More mature. In that we are trying to understand, women. Because let me not lie to you. Sometimes I become from. I lived with a young girl when I came into Canada. I shared a room with her, and you know, I told her from the beginning that I just want, me now. Just call me Rosemary. I'm fine.
Yeah.
Don't put me in the position of mommy, because I believe that she will not be she will
So
not be free. She will not be her genuine self. But I found out that expectation from home, as young as she was then, you know, her parents were expecting her to be responsible for, her siblings. Even she had older siblings, twin boys. Her father expected her, oh, I sent you to Canada so that you can be taken care of. And let me tell you something. It really it molded the girl's mindset and this thing, and then so she felt. She carries herself with someone who must take care of her family, who must take care of her, who must be responsible, and then so it's really uh, gave a different appearance and the way about her, the way she does things. So I kind of like step back because really I cannot undo in how many months. I cannot undo in how many months what has been sown into her for 18 good years, going on 19. So I just told myself, I said, step down. So, sometimes when I call her and I cancel her, I just do cancel and I move. In terms of comparison, and it still happens even up to forever. It happens in our lives and all that. Okay, so before we call it a day, I have two more questions and we'll just wrap it up. So now, I want to ask you, what does your life look like without pressure or expectation? What
uh,
does your life look like without pressure or expectation?
without pressure, expectation, I honest, it may feel directionless, like there's no direction. Yeah, that because pressure can be a good thing, and I'm like, so what am I doing? Who's gonna push me? Like I need something to push me. I know we all have elastic limits, and I'm this kind of I'm a girl that I really want to put in the work and do my thing. So if I don't find that pressure, I will be my life will be directionless. So pressure is required, but there's a measure of it. I think where people go wrong or where families go wrong with women in this age band is the measure of the pressure they put on people. And when you're putting the pressure, don't like that comparison should be taken out because it just and those expectations too. Um, Also, maybe for with expectation, reduce it should be reduced. Like, oh yes, esteem this person high, but when the disappointment come, bless you, when the
Thank you.
disappointment come as a result of what I'm doing, don't feel so bad because you've put me, you have so much high expectation about me, but
Mm.
happen, I'm human and I might not meet your expectation, which I'm not bound to always meet. So once that kind of thing happened, rather than being mad at me, I would I would need you to encourage me and not just come and judge me. Yes, you can correct me. You can correct me in love. So yes, without pressure, your life is directionless. You're you're not purpose driven, and I am living currently living.
Excuse me. Oh my God, sorry.
So,
Mm.
um, and purpose I've seen come to realize that everything I'm doing is not about me alone. It's about the community around me. It's about the generation coming behind and how I encourage them to be way better than myself. Because my mommy always say, "I want you to be. You will be better than me. Like I will do the things she wasn't able to do. That's what I want us to the next generation coming." So, pressure is really important, and pressure is good, but it should be measured. We don't need to go over in integration. We say there's integration bound. We don't want to expand because when stuff is expanding without limits, so there has to be a limit to stuff, and there has to be measured. That's what I I would say. If I don't have pressure, I need pressure, but it needs to be measured.
Okay, thank you. Our time is fast spent. In
Yeah,
fact, we have exceeded our time, but I just want to ask you a final question.
yeah.
And this question, you will answer it, and then you will give, your final, word. But answer this question first. What are you afraid will happen if you choose yourself?
That's a great question. If I choose myself, what I'm afraid may happen is I'd lose some important well, I will not say important, but everybody's important, but I will lose some privileges if I choose my every point because uh, okay, I want to branch out and do this thing right now, and I know someone is supporting the education. I'm going to lose that, to be very honest. So yeah.
Thank you. Now, your final word to that lady, to that parent on expectation.
Can you come again?
I said, give us some final word, your last final word
Oh,
on.
my final word to that lady, to that parent is whenever pressure is good and it depends on perspective. So when you're putting pressure on girls, when you're putting pressure on yourself, it should be in measure because those things help you grow. And can we reduce our expectation? Like I know we we parents don't have good expectation, but make a space for what if not. Like it may not happen, so you won't be disappointed and be like, "Oh, you broke my heart." And another thing I like to say is like it's a quote that I really lived by because my chemistry teacher always says it. I am me, and I'm not going to ever try to be someone else. I'm going to enjoy the fullness of all that I am, and I'm going to be comfortable. And when pressure comes, I would have the strength to be able to carry on and deal with it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Olamipo. Thank you so much.
Thank
This
you
is a
so much for
very matured discussion. Thank you for your time. Thank you for sharing in depthly with us. Thank you for coming. I do appreciate you. We appreciate you, and I want to say that I believe that parents are listening because most of the people where we have on our live now are parents. Some I know, some I don't know, but I'm seeing parents on live. I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for sharing your word with us. And I believe that both parents and girls within your age range have heard, they have listened, and we have heard as parents. And we believe that it will further improve our relationship with you. Thank you so much, Olamipo.
Thank you so
And I
much.
want to say thank you to everyone who stayed on, everyone who always come, to support us. Um,
Next week is a very wonderful, you know, day. Next week, Saturday, 16th of May is the one day because we're having our under 13. We're having our preteens and our teenagers too. You know, said who says you can't lead? I don't want. I just want to keep it under wrap.
All
And I
together.
know that it promises to be fun. And we're going to be having Adora Fagbo Adora Fagbon, and then we're going to be having Oluwatomilola Obembe. Adora is an author, she's a writer, she's a public speaker. Oh my goodness, she's amazing. She's a business owner. She's into beads and all those fancy things. She has a book, and Oluwatomilola Obembe is a crocheter. She's an entrepreneur. Who told you that things can't make
Yeah.
money? Until I come your way next week, Saturday, stay
That's so
blessed.
much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you for
Olamipo.
having.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye.